Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's football show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. It is Tuesday. I'm Peter Martin. Thank you for joining us on the programme. In the studio, Alan Rough, Alison McConnell and Darren Jackson are here with me. There's lots of football to look ahead to, and of course, there's something far more important than football to talk about too. Yeah, before we look at the Premiership fixtures over tonight and tomorrow, all our thoughts on the football show are with Jackie McNamara, hoping he has a speedy recovery, and our prayers are with Jackie and his family at this difficult time, because on Saturday night, I'm sure many people would have been in shock at a 46-year-old obviously collapsing first and foremost, and then after that to hear that he required an operation and was in an induced coma. It certainly was worrying, and the football world right across every fan has been rallying round the McNamara family and offering their best wishes for a speedy recovery. Darren Jackson is here with us. Darren, you know him better than most, and of course you worked alongside Jackie. This must have been devastating news.
It was incredible Saturday night. I was just going into the Falkirk Hearts game and Craig Hinchcliffe called me and told me what had happened, and I called Sam right away and spoke to Sam, and she told me what happened. So, but the positive news, Peter, is that he's had the operation and he was in an induced coma. But we've just heard, I spoke to Tommy Johnson, that he was at the hospital today and he's up speaking. He's in and out of consciousness. But the positive, they were thinking 7 to 10 days. He was going to be in an induced coma, but he's speaking today, so that's very positive. But I mean, I've played with him. I was his agent. I've been in his coaching staff, and he's a winner, Peter. And like we talk about football, that it doesn't matter about football, all of what's happened. But see, when you played for the old firm for 10 years, you're a strong character.
Yeah,
because it demands every single day. In every single game, you have to be a strong character, and he is without doubt. He's very, very focused. He knows what he wants, and he was a pleasure to play with, and it's just great to call him a pal. And I'm going down tomorrow, and looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, fingers crossed that the recovery continues. Apart from his irritatingly boyish good looks that I always noise him up about, we had him in the studio, about 6 months ago, to chat about his career. If anything, I just wonder if being such a fit lad, and he's still fit. I mean, I think I can go back less than that of him playing five-a-sides with us, So he's always kept his fitness up, and that may well stand him in good stead to fight his way back.
Well, you would hope so. That's a major factor, and I would think that's what the doctors are saying, that he's a fit guy. So they're hoping that the recovery will be a lot quicker than obviously someone a bit older. But I think it's one step at a time just now, and they weren't probably expecting what's happened today, and I don't think anyone will be getting carried away. But as I said before, it's positive.
Yeah, and in the football world, Alison, I think his daughter had released a statement just saying, these are the times when people have to show respect and just let the family, rally round. His dad, Jackie, will undoubtedly be coming in, and all his friends, Simon, Donnelly, like Darren, they'll all want to be there just to show their support.
Absolutely, I think you just need probably to close ranks a wee bit. I think you probably just need to be surrounded by close family. I think when there's an incident such as this, I think it's a shock for everyone, and almost there's a delayed reaction too. I think maybe the adrenaline when it first happens kicks in, and then in the aftermath of it, when you appreciate the gravity of it, you maybe just need a wee bit of support from the people closest to you. So you can understand why his family would ask for a wee bit of privacy, but I'm sure he'll have the full support of the football community and the wider community in general.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, Roughie, you know his dad very well. He'll be in there, and his dads and mums do. They just quickly read the riot act and say, listen, I mean, he's not a lazy boy. After football, he had lots of things to do. They'll be just saying to him, calm down, slow down, just take it easy with things, start offloading some of your workload.
Yeah, and if Jackie Jr.'s got the same fight that Jackie Sr.'s had, and I'm sure everyone will be okay. Jackie Sr. will be devastated. Big follower, as you would be with your son through his career, you know, followed him everywhere, very supportive of everything he'd done. And as you all say, it's the family you're thinking about. You know, you just hope everything goes well.
Yeah, no surprise the Celtic manager Neil Lennon in shock at the news.
Well, I'm lost for words. You know, I don't know what to say. I spoke to him actually on Tuesday. So I'm just, you know, obviously devastated by the news, and you know, hoping he pulls through. He's a strong guy. He's a great guy. And, you know, he's a fit boy for, you know, someone of his age, and he's been fit all his life. So, you know, I'm hoping and praying that he comes through okay.
Our best wishes, prayers and thoughts with Jackie for a speedy recovery, and of course our thoughts go out to his family as well at this difficult time. Of course, Celtic against Hearts coming up. It's the type of game McNamara would have relished, both of them, dad and son. And of course, right now, Celtic looking to try and maintain that advantage over Rangers. They've got a man there that's attracting a fair bit of attention, Roughie. Odsonne Edouard is the player of the month for January with those 3 goals in the league, and already people are thinking how long before Celtic have to eventually admit that he's off-ski.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be sooner rather than later. He's producing it not only at club level but in the European field, and obviously in France as well when he's playing with them, you know, scoring goals, and everywhere he's going. He's at the height of his career just now, so I don't think it'll be too long before Celtic will have to accept some bids that are coming in, and whether it's the right amount, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and for the benefit of some of the fans who obviously, you know, try and narrow it down to we're trying to get rid of him. We're not trying to get rid of him, because if you listen to Odsonne Edouard, he's quite happy with the 2 years left in his contract to see it all out.
It's very flattering. But I have 2 years left in my contract at Celtic, and that's it. I want to focus on the club. So there's still 5 months to finish this season, so I'm completely focused on that. We still have some titles to hopefully win, and then once that is done, then we can focus on something else.
Yeah, we were going to translate that as I'm off and I can't wait to join Liverpool, but then again, there's been enough of that translation in the last week or two to get us all in trouble. Listen, there's no doubt about it. I've got him up at 30 million plus. If he's going the way he's going at the moment, I think he's got 26 goals in total. I mean, he just looks like the complete real deal.
He does, Peter. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. The only thing I had a problem with, that earlier in the season when Celtic went to Livingston, Ryan Christie got sent off. He's not a striker who's going to burst their gut and chase the whole back four and put them under pressure. But I did see in the last couple of games up at St Johnstone, at Hamilton, he is chasing full-backs now, and he's probably getting a grasp of that's the Scottish game. That's what needs to happen. But when he gets the ball, his composure on the ball, his close control, his link-up play, and when he gets in the box, he's just ice cool. I mean, his finishing is incredible.
I'm going to draw you into this, Ali, on the basis that I'm not convinced about your next statement, but you think he's better than Dembele?
I think he has the potential to be a better player than Moussa Dembele. I think he's maybe a more complete player than Moussa. Celtic got £20 million for Dembele a year and a half ago. By the time they could potentially cash in on Edward, I think you would be looking at well over that. I think anywhere from 25 and up would be the going rate. I don't think Celtic would even consider starting below that. I think he's an exceptional talent. I think the fact he scored goals for France at under 21 level, I think he's a very exciting talent, and I think that what he's doing will not have gone unnoticed this season. I think it's 24 goals for the season so far, but I think his all-round play is very impressive, and I think what you've seen in the last month or so is an ability to play as part of a two. What we've seen up until now is playing as a lone striker. You've seen a burgeoning partnership between him and Lee Griffiths over recent weeks, which adds a whole different dimension, I think, to Celtic's attack, and I think what you'll see is far more goals to come from him between now and the end of the season. I think if you're a Celtic fan, you should enjoy him between now and the end of the season, because I don't think Celtic will be able to resist a big money offer for him this summer.
Yeah, she's mega sneaky when she comes to that. Once I box her into a corner there, Roughie, she says he has the potential to be better than Dembele. You know, that's the old sly fox, Darren. They're just trying to duck and dive out of it. But listen, he's one talent. We have another talent, and of course, it's Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, we certainly have. Again, the weekend. Had a couple of chances, 2 or 3 chances, you know, a bit like all strikers. He's there in the right place at the right time to take them, got a header, and he'll score more goals. I really do think he'll get 40 before the end of the season.
You think Alfredo Morelos will hit 40? I think he's on 29 at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think he could get 40 quite easily. And I remember the year Lee Griffiths, what was he up at, 38? Did he get 40, did he?
Yeah.
I think it'll be that kind of season for him.
Listen, if Alfredo Morelos gets 40, I mean, they were talking in the papers this morning, Darren, you know, the last one to do that was Ali McCoist. It'll be some feat for him if he gets it. And again, some people would say he could get 40 and not win the league.
Yeah, I think Roughie's right. I mean, 11 goals for now into the end of the season. He is just a natural finisher. I was there on Saturday. Probably a little bit off the pace because he's missed a few games. But the difference between him and Edouard, they both score goals, but they're different players. Morelos likes physical contact. He likes barging people out the road and getting into chances. But at the end of the day, again, when he gets in there, he finishes, he knows where the goals are, and a very composed finisher.
Yeah, well, it's been a mental couple of weeks with Morelos at times in the eye of the storm. His manager, Stephen Gerrard, says he has had a heart-to-heart with him, offered him support, like he does with all his players.
We always support all the players across the board. I always try and support my staff. Obviously, family's first for me, always across the board, so... not just with Alfredo, with all the players, I'm always there for them to talk to and open up to. My door's always open. You know, as a club, from top to bottom, we always try and look after the players, whether they be in the first team or the academy. That's what we're there for. And then football obviously comes after that.
There'll be a bonus for Rangers, Ali. The fact that Ryan Jack is back. He was sitting in the stand next to me at the Hamilton Rangers game. I think he offers something a wee bit more in the middle of the park for them, which will be welcome. And of course, any striker loves a bit of supply. Absolutely,
I think he's been important so far for them this season. But in terms of just coming in, and I think he works hard without what he's doing always been seen and applauded. I think sometimes there's a selflessness there that just does the dirty work and supports the more creative players round about him. But I think he's been a very important player. I think he dips under the radar a wee bit for Rangers, but I think he'll be a welcome return for them.
OK, give me a prediction for you guys. Any slip-ups with Rangers down at Kilmarnock, Roughie?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be a difficult game. I think it'll be quite close. I think Rangers will edge it. I would probably go 2-1.
2-0 for Rangers.
I'll go 2-1.
OK. So, Celtic Hearts.
Yeah, I thought Hearts were fortunate against Falkirk. I think Falkirk did enough to get a draw in that game. So I'm not really sure that the Hearts revival's there yet. So I think Celtic will win that one 3-0.
I can't see Celtic slipping up at home. I think for the games at Tynecastle there's always a different proposition, but no, I would see 3-0 comfortably.
I'll go 4-0.
Yeah.
I just thought defensively they weren't great, and with Celtic playing the two up front now, they're going to be very hard to tie them down. So that's, I think I'll go for that.
Yeah, big goals fest, 3. You think they were actually upset about suggesting that their faces on you, by the way, honestly. any chance you 3 could lighten up? Listen, one other, I'm telling you to lighten up, and I'm just about to ask you about the whole situation here off the park. There's just one thing that I think is well worthy of our comment. I think probably just you and I on this, Ali, which is basically a negative situation that's developing between Rangers and members of our group, whether it be written, whether it be broadcast, TV and radio. And basically, it's concerning the whole Alfredo Morelos situation, whether it be the Sky interview, the translation, the racist abuse, the charge at a 12-year-old boy for racist chants. Rangers have come out and had a real go, named individuals, and basically left it open, I think, to the baying mob. The whole press release now from Rangers is different from maybe even 10, 15 years ago. This is out-and-out attacks on individuals and collectively almost a blanket approach to everyone with their treatment of Alfredo Morelos. What's your take on it?
On the one hand, I can see why they would wish to come out and support their player and be seen to stand up for themselves as a club. On the other hand, if I was being critical, I think it panders to the lowest common denominator. I think in the narrative of the last week, what has been lost and what's been diluted is the fact that there has been an opportunity to discuss in an adult fashion an issue of racism. We've all seen racist incidents come to the fore across the country, across Europe, over the last 18 months, maybe perhaps even longer than that. I think everything that went on in the political climate in our own country, in our own door with Brexit, gave rise to a lot of that rhetoric. And I think that's been reflective in football circles and in football grounds. I think it's disappointing that we can't speak about racism openly without it being seen as a means to point score.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on this. I do think we, as a group, have a responsibility to try and treat each individual incident with a balanced outlook, and of course, without a situation where we are slanderous towards people. Obviously, it could result in getting dragged into courts for certain individuals for certain comments that have been made. And certainly there's a wedge between certain media companies and football clubs at the moment, which I think at the moment looks as if it's irreparable. But as you say, if we could all sit down and collectively start to talk and not pander to the baying mob, then I think we could move forward. But again, communication is the key on this one. It'll rumble on, I'm almost certain about that. We haven't quite talked about Killie and their situation, or whether they're turning the corner or not. But the general consensus is that Rangers will win tomorrow night. What about tonight? Aberdeen. Listen, if you think there's unrest around the likes of Rangers and Celtic with every result, right now Aberdeen fans are up in arms. They haven't seen a goal in the league from their team, Darren. And I think quite a few Dons fans would gleefully accept the manager getting sacked.
I think it's a bit strong. It's not good enough. Derek and Tony have set standards there over the last few years, and the players aren't coming up to the standards just now. And the other players need to step up to the mark, because Cosgrove isn't going to score every game. He was, and that's why they were getting through games.
Yeah.
So other players are going to have to step up to the mark. But if Hamilton play the way they played against Celtic, and if they kept 10 men on the pitch, and if they did the confidence against Rangers, the attacks that they did have, and put Rangers under pressure, it'll be a real hard game for Aberdeen tonight. But Aberdeen have got good players, and as I say, they have to step up now. And expectations of an Aberdeen player are high, and they're there because they are good players. Now, whether it's a confidence thing, but they need to get a result.
Yeah, I can see Hamilton taking a point, Roughie. I think there are signs. I mean, they made 6 changes in the game against Rangers, which is basically Brian Rice saying the cup matters not a jot. It's all about staying in this division. And this is the type of game where I can see them getting a point.
Yeah, well, on the evidence of the game against Rangers and Celtic, the 45 minutes, I'm sure the manager would be happy if they could put in another shift like that. I just worry about the kind of goals they lose. They lose really soft goals. Goals you would think if they could have done better there. So I always think when good managers are under the cosh, they tend to get the result when it's needed. And I think it'll be tonight that Aberdeen will get that done.
OK then, what about Hibs against Ross County? What's your take?
I'm going to go Hibs in that one.
Hibs 2-1.
Hibs 2-1.
Yeah. OK. Livingston St Mirren.
Surprised at Livy at the weekend. I keep backing St Mirren. I think St Mirren get a draw in that one.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a 3 each. I'm at Livingston tomorrow. I quite don't mind a decent game.
Yep, I think from time to time, Ali, I look at you for obviously a sense of stability on the programme, with sensibility as well, backing it up. But I think those 3 days off have put Alison into an act of lunacy, suggesting 3-3. If it's 3-3, I am taking you, the troops. We're all going out. We're paying whatever meal you want and a bottle of wine. Okay.
I think my last 3 visits to Livingston have all been 0-0s. I just cannot bear another one.
Yeah.
I can't bear the thought of another one.
Don't open your computer and get an extra hard drive for 3-3. It ain't going to happen. That's
I fancy Livingston. I've been to a few Livingston games at home, and they're very good at home.
Yeah.
They're a footballer. They've got smaller players in the middle of the park now, footballers, and I'm a big fan of Dykes.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be too strong for St Mirren.
Okay. St Johnstone against Motherwell, Roughie. Motherwell debt-free. How good is that?
It's excellent. It's well run. Everybody will be looking at the supporter impact there, making the decisions. But it's easy decisions to make when they've got good young players and they can sell them on for the money that they're getting. But I don't know about St Johnstone. I'm going to go another draw, I think.
Yeah, okay, a draw.
Motherwell.
I
think Motherwell will sneak it, yeah.
Yeah, same here. Okay, listen, thank you very much to everyone for, of course, sharing all your thoughts across all our social media. We try and get back to as many of the real football fans that talk to us across Twitter at PLZ Soccer. Don't forget Facebook Live. You can join us every day, put your point to the panel, and on YouTube as well at 5:30, or you can watch it at your leisure every day, Monday to Friday, Peter and Ruffy's football show. And if you get a chance, thank you very much for taking us into the top 10 football podcasts with our guest Andy Ritchie from Friday there. You can still download it on all the audio platforms, and you can get it across the PLZ Soccer YouTube site as well. And I can tell you, next week's guest is well worth joining us for, because it's somebody that will bring back some unbelievable memories for Alan Rough. It's going to be emotional, it's going to be fun, and it's not to be missed. But download Andy Ritchie, you are going to enjoy it, I can tell you that. All that remains for me to say is thank you very much to Alan Rough, Alison McConnell and Darren Jackson, and on behalf of everyone in the football show, from myself, Peter Martin, a speedy recovery, and our thoughts and prayers with Jackie McNamara at this difficult time. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.